Hi everyone, Renee here. I have missed you all. So today's video is going to be all about how to differentiate between dry and dehydrated skin. It's something I get questions about all the time, which is understandable because the symptoms are so similar, and this is something I am sadly way too familiar with. I've struggled with either or and both at various times throughout my life, and I think it's something that I just kind of really started to understand recently. I've talked a lot about how last year, once I understood how to properly hydrate my skin, it normalized, and I had always identified with having dry skin, but actually I was just severely dehydrated. A lot of you who have oily skin have been writing me and just completely confused because you don't understand why your pores are secreting oils, but at the same time you're dry, flaky, and all of that. I already have a video that explains the difference between hydration and moisture, which I will link. So if you want to gain a better understanding of the types of moisturizers that might be more suited for your skin type, then that will help you. So dehydrated skin simply lacks water. Actually, many people with oily skin or acne-prone skin tend to be the ones with the most dehydrated skin. This is because a lot of the products aimed at stripping the skin of oil or decongesting the skin can also rob it of water. So a way to test to see if your skin is dehydrated or not is just pinch some skin on the back of your hand, like a tent, just pinch it, and then release. And if it takes some time to go back down, then you're dehydrated. If it just bounces down right away, disappears, then you're good. Another way to test your skin hydration levels is to use a device. I have the Weigh Skin device. They will give you a general idea of whether or not you need something. For me, the telltale sign of whether my skin is not hydrated enough is tightness. It just feels very tight in an uncomfortable way. But the minute I start using hydrating products, it just loosens up completely. I used to think that was dryness, actually. So I used to slather these heavy creams on my face, and there will still be tightness, but it would just be sort of greasy. Another way in which I can clearly tell when my skin just needs a little more is when it just looks deflated, when there are fine lines and creases, and that comes just from my skin just being more like a raisin than a grape, you know? When there's not a lot of volume to my skin. If your skin is already oily, then dehydration could actually lead to even more oil production. So you're gonna have like all this oil seeping out of your pores, but then at the same time, you're tight. In fact, this is how the 7 skin method developed. It was a way for those with oily skin or those living in very humid climates in the summer to moisturize their skin without adding heaviness, congestion, or greasiness. So the way to treat dehydrated skin, unlike for dry skin, is you don't just add water to your skin. That could actually have the adverse effect. It's more about ingredients that draw water to your skin and then keeping it locked in there. Humectants are what draw water to your skin, and that's what dehydrated skin really needs. If you're in a dry, arid environment and there's not a whole lot of water in the atmosphere to draw from, that's okay. Immediately seal everything in with a good moisturizer. You'll probably find, like I have, that once your skin is really well hydrated, your moisturizer doesn't really need to be that heavy. It could be really light. It could even be just a moisturizing sunscreen. Honestly, it's Japanese and Korean beauty that really helped me understand how to hydrate my skin. Up until that point, it's not something that I really thought existed. I thought it was just dryness. There's such a focus on it where every single step of your skincare routine is hydrating your skin. And it's all about building layers of hydration, and that essentially is what has always been missing from my routine. And it's pretty much all I really needed. The 7 skin method really changed everything for me. Once I started doing that, everything was fine. Other than topical treatments, a good humidifier just does wonders for your skin, particularly during the drier months. Dry skin basically is just not great at producing sebum or oil. You're lacking that natural barrier that's keeping your skin sort of moisturized and balanced. And because of that, you are just a little more susceptible to sensitivity and inflammation. The key to addressing dry skin is to add oil to it and to make sure that you have like an emollient-rich layer that's protecting it further from outside external stressors. So if you're going to add a layer of oil, which is my favorite step in any routine, then you want to look for the richer ones that are heavier in oleic fatty acids and omega-9s, such as marula oil, argan, olive, macadamia nut, avocado. You also want to look for emollient-rich moisturizers that are more occlusive and have ingredients like shea butter, beeswax, lanolin, coconut oil derivatives like the triglycerides. Natural moisturizing factors are important because they really help maintain that, healthy lipid constitution in your skin. These kind of formulas will make sure that everything is well anointed and also prevent moisture, hydration, water in your skin from escaping. How heavy you need that moisturizer to be, honestly, really depends on how dry you are and the elements. So this winter, I just completely fell in love with cream cleansers. I mean, we've come such a long way from like Pond's cold cream. I would say cream cleansers are the only type where I feel my skin is clean afterwards, but then I'm also not rushing to put product on my skin before it feels completely depleted. If you have dry skin, this is a beautiful option, or if you just don't really want to strip your skin of anything during cleansing. Exfoliation is one of those tricky things because if you have dry skin, you're constantly dealing with patches and flakes and texture, and you really want to get rid of them, and you want to have like that sort of smooth, juicy skin underneath. At the same time, because you're dealing with a skin barrier that is already a bit compromised, you are more prone to overexfoliation, the sensitivity and the inflammation and, reactions. So anything that may cause overexfoliation, such as cleansing tools, loofahs, Clarisonics, cleansing brushes, anything that's not gentle and causes a little bit of friction on your face, all of these can add to your skin becoming more dry. Every single time I've had a really bad reaction to acids, it's always been during the winter when my skin is the most dry and when I felt like I needed it the most. What's really worked well for me are the gentler AHAs, whether it's a lower concentration or they're AHAs that have the larger molecules so they don't irritate as easily. Lactic acid, mandelic acid has been a favorite of mine for years. The low percentage, slow working serums or toners that are spaced out widely through the week have always given me the best results because there's a lot less irritation and no inflammation. Peeling gels are another favorite of mine in that they're not scratchy, they're not invasive, they're not irritating, but then they leave you with like baby skin. Hydrating mists are a bit of a skin saver for me during the winter months because anytime I feel like the indoor heating is getting too much or just being outdoors is making my skin crack, it's just such a wonderful soothing treatment. Although you really want to be careful because the water mists, whether it's thermal water or mineral water, that will not do any justice. It will actually make things worse. As the water evaporates from your skin, not only is it going to take more water, but it's also going to take a lot of the little amount of sebum you might have. So use the hydrating mists that are waterless or they don't have pure water in them. So they can be aloe based, they can be extract based. I like ones that are emulsions, they're milky, they've got oil in them, so they really help bring back the glow without making you a grease ball. You can decant your favorite hydrating toner, add a few drops of oil in it, and then use that as a mist. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for being so patient. I actually have a whole backlog of videos that I started editing, even collaborations that I wasn't able to completely finish because, well, life happened. So those will be coming out shortly. And just thank you for watching. And until next time, I'm wishing you great skin health. Bye.